I did a non-sponsored review for Webull 2 years back in 2022, and back then there was a lot of attention because the welcome rewards was $100 of Apple shares plus it was zero commission. So 2 years have passed and a lot of things have changed for Webull, specifically for the upgrades and updates. And let's see how Webull has changed, whether it is still a good trading platform to use for investments. I will also give a quick guide of how to transfer shares from outside brokers to Webull if you want to consolidate your positions. I think let's start with the welcome rewards first, because if you're new to Webull, this time there is a brand new reward. When you do an initial funding of $500 or more, you'll get 5 free fractional shares of NVDA ranging from $10 to $500 each. Secondly, if you complete 5 buy trades of US stocks of minimum $100 or options trades within 30 days after funding, you'll get 30 trading vouchers worth up to $450. But the beginner question is how to buy shares on Webull, which is why I'll give you a quick walkthrough, because if you are new to Webull and you need a step-by-step guide, here it is. Step 1. Funding an account. Click on the home, which is the center icon, then transfers, then deposit. Then you can select from EDDA, fast or telegraphic transfer. I will select EDDA, that is preferred, so link your internet banking account for direct debit. Step 2, you will need to convert to your trading currency. So for example, you need to convert SGD to USD. So go to transfers, currency exchange, convert your selected currency, example USD for US stocks and SGD for SG stocks. Step 3, select your favorite stock or ETF. Then for limit orders, put in your limit price and quantity, then click buy and confirm. Wait for the order to fill. So really, it's nothing too difficult. I think if you have used other trading platforms before, Webull will not be too difficult to navigate. But I think there's something new about Webull in terms of the markets, because when it was just launched 2 years ago, only the following markets are available, which is the US, the Hong Kong and China A shares. But recently in year 2024, Webull has recently added Singapore market, which is Singapore Stock Trading for SGX. So you can start buying your favorite equities listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange. And if you're asking for the pricing for trading in Singapore stocks market, it is actually quite competitive, and we shall see it is 0.025% of the total trade amount, minimum 80 Singapore cents for the commission as well as the platform fees. So in total, we are looking at 0.05% multiplied by the total trade amount, which is a minimum of $1.60 per trade. This is excluding other regulatory fees like the XGX handling fee, clearing fee, settlement fee, as well as GST, which applies to every Singapore stock trading order, whether you are trading on Webull or not. Also specific to Webull, you can choose to buy between a bought lot or a unit lot. So usually for bought lot, the minimum lot size is 100 shares. And then for unit shares, you may purchase less than 100 shares and as low as 1 share. For US stocks and ETFs, here is the current pricing. It is 0.025% multiplied by the total trade amount and a minimum of 50 US cents. Take note that this is only applicable to those regular trades and extended trading hours. And this is still considered quite cheap because there are 0 platform fees. Similarly, other regulatory fees apply. For Hong Kong stocks and ETFs, it is 0.03% multiplied by the total trade amount with a minimum of 12 Hong Kong dollars. Other regulatory fees apply. So you can see from Webull's pricing, it is really competitive and it's really good for people who just want to consolidate all their trade and investment positions into one platform. You can hold your US, Hong Kong or even Singapore shares, and that will be much easier for you to track, monitor and manage your trading and investing positions. I do want to share a bit about some new features of Webull, starting with the shares transfer in, because this is relatively new. But what is really the advantage of transferring in your shares to Webull? I would say that there are very good rewards if you were to transfer your shares into Webull and fulfill the holding period. Let's talk about it. For the shares transfer in promotion, it is valid for both new and existing customers of Webull who have not transferred any shares from outside brokers to Webull. So this is the first time that you are transferring, then you are eligible. And there are 2 transfer in value tiers, namely the $5,000 as well as the $25,000 tier. To put it simply, the $5,000 tier, you will get up to $1,000 worth of NVDA shares, and for the next tier, $25,000, you can get up to $3,000 worth of NVDA shares if you fulfill the holding period. Not only that, Webull also provides you $150 of transfer fee subsidies to help you cover any transfer out charges from outside brokers. So if you just want a summary of how to transfer your shares to Webull, here it is. Click participate on the transfer in promotion banner, and then you can start to execute shares transfer in on the Webull app. Step 1, tap Webull logo at the bottom of the screen. Step 2, tap transfers at the top of the screen. Step 3, tap transfer assets into Webull. Step 4, complete the submission. Step 5, go to your existing broker, fill in the details and execute the transfer. Step 6, wait up to 21 business days for the shares to be transferred. And final step, hold your shares in Webull until you have fulfilled the holding period for the NVDA share rewards. I did a detailed step-by-step guide in February to show you how to transfer from Interactive Brokers to Webull step-by-step, and some of you have asked whether it is possible from other brokers to transfer to Webull. So yes, I did do a little bit of research, and yes, it is possible, so I'll talk about it. For Moomoo and Tiger Brokers, they do charge $150 US of transfer out fee per stock, and in order to transfer out your stock, you have to send an email to the client services for them to process the shares transfer out. Then for Poyons, based on what I found on their website, the transfer fee is 100 Singapore dollars per stock. And you may select transfer to other financial institution by filling up this form and submit it to their client service. But what information do you have to provide other than the stocks that you are transferring out? There will be the Webull details that you have to fill in, which is the organization name, the contact person, the email, the custody account, which is your Webull account number, as well as the DTC participant code of 0158. So once your transfer is completed, remember the holding period because it is a little bit more details here. So when I talk about the fulfillment period, there are actually 4 holding periods, each ranging up to 90 days. And to get the maximum rewards, you have to fulfill 4 periods of 90 days, totaling up to 360 days. And you can see from this table, for the USD $5,000 transfer in tier, it starts at 90 days, giving you $100 US of NVDA shares. And at 180 days, you will get $200 US of NVDA shares, up till 360 days, where you will get $400 US of NVDA shares. So the total amount of NVDA shares after 360 days is a cumulative amount of $1,000 US. And then for the $25,000 US transfer in tier, the rewards will be 3 times the $5,000 tier. What it means is that if you just fulfill 90 days, you'll get $300 US of NVDA shares. Then if you hold up to 360 days, you will get $1,200 US of NVDA shares. So if you total up the full rewards, you'll get $3,000 US of NVDA shares for the 25,000 tier. To put it simply, if you transfer in $5,000 US of shares to Webull and hold for 360 days, you will get $1,000 US of NVDA shares. And then if you transfer in $25,000 US of shares to Webull and hold for 360 days, you will get a total of $3,000 US of NVDA shares. The next new feature of Webull is Moneybull, and they are actually running a promotion, but more on that later. Moneybull is a wealth management tool designed for margin accounts to earn a yield on idle cash while maintaining liquidity and relatively low risk. How it works is that the yield is generated by investing your idle cash automatically into underlying cash funds. Now, in order for your funds to auto-subscribe to Manibo, there is a criteria. Your Webull account needs to have at least $10 US or 10 Singapore dollars for the auto subscription by Moneybull to take place. And the good thing about Moneybull is that you can continue to use your Webull account to trade even though your funds are in Moneybull, because 99% of the market value of your Moneybull position will be added to your buying power for trading purposes. The funds from your Moneybull positions will be auto-redeemed when you do not have sufficient cash to settle your trades. Then the next question is, how do you even activate Moneybull? On your registration, remember to select margin account because only margin account can activate Moneybull. And to activate, go to markets, discover Moneybull icon, then activate USD or SGD cash fund. Once activated, your idle cash will be subscribed to the USD or SGD cash fund depending on the currency that you hold on the next work day. So for SGD currency, it is 7:30 SG time, and for USD currency, it is 9:30 SG time. If you are new to Webull, there is also very attractive rewards for Moneybull. And this time, the rewards comes in 3 tiers. First tier being $80 US of NVDA shares. When you activate and subscribe at least $2,000 US to Moneybull, fulfill the requirements and maintain till 30th of April 2024. For the second tier, you'll get $3,000 US of NVDA shares when you activate and subscribe to a minimum of $100,000 US to Moneybull. Fulfill the requirements and maintain till 28 February 2025. And lastly, the final tier, you'll get $5,000 US of NVDA shares when you activate and subscribe a minimum of $250,000 US to Manibo, fulfill the requirements and maintain till 28 February 2025. So you can see for the second and third tier, It is actually a longer holding period, but you get much more rewards. So I want to talk about one last feature of Webull app, which is a regular savings plan, RSP. For long-term passive investing strategy, I felt that it is easier on the emotions to do small and regular investments. This is where Webull regular savings plan, RSP, can help you automate all these dollar cost average investments into your preferred US stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds at your own pace. Currently, RSP supports US listed stocks and ETFs and also SGD and USD mutual funds. To set up RSP, go to Market, RSP, search for your target stock, ETF or fund, then input the investment amount of minimum 10 Singapore dollars from bank account or minimum 5 US dollars from Webull buying power. For frequency, you may select from every trading day, week, 2 weeks, or every month. To modify RSP, you can go to Account, Orders, Regular Savings Plan, then modify the amount of frequency or even cancel the RSP. And that is how you can execute the dollar cost averaging strategy using Webull's regular savings plan. Now, to put into conclusion, I felt that Webull has really improved and updated their features over time to suit the needs of their customers who are traders or investors. For example, the shares transfer in feature would help to pull in customers to consolidate their positions into Webull and manage it more efficiently. Then for Moneybull, it ensures that your idle cash still earn a passive return while you're getting ready to execute a trade. And for RSP, is to really help to automate investments so that emotions will not come into play, and it's an effective dollar cost averaging strategy. So personally, I felt that all these features are good to help an investor or even a beginner kickstart their investing journey, which is really crucial for anyone to build their wealth for long term. And if you want to try out all these features on Webull, then use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Webull account today. And thank you to Webull for sponsoring this video. So if you want a detailed step-by-step guide on how to transfer your shares from Interactive Brokers to Webull, then you may refer to my previous video right here.